Good evening. I'm Sissy Graham Lynch, and I'm honored to speak to you tonight about something that is so important to all of us, our faith. As Americans, we know the first line of the First Amendment protects our freedom of religion. But what we often forget, the actual words are free exercise of religion.
Baltimore was interrupted at the service yesterday by police. The pastor says they didn't break any laws, but police say they aren't following the governor's order to keep gatherings to a minimum.
That means living out our faith in our daily lives, in our schools, in our jobs, and yes, even in the public square. Our founders did not envision a quiet, hidden faith. They fought to ensure that the voices of faith were always welcomed, not silenced, not bullied.
WMAR 2 News' Eddie Kadam was at the church today and shows us why the pastor believes keeping the doors open is the right thing to do.
The pastor says it's their First Amendment right to keep holding services and that they are essential. He says they're following all the CDC guidelines and that people are staying 6 feet apart.
But during the Obama-Biden administration, these freedoms were under attack. Democrats tried to make faith organizations pay for abortion-inducing drugs. Democrats tried to force adoption agencies to violate their deeply held beliefs. Democrats pressured schools to allow boys to compete in girls' sports and use girls' locker rooms. Those are the facts.
Driving around, you'll see lots of signs canceling church services or moving to an online format. The sign hasn't changed at Friendship Baptist Church in Northeast Baltimore. On Sunday, Reverend Alvin Gwynn Sr. says there were 10 people in the church when this unexpected company arrived.
But then, we, the people, elected Donald Trump. People of faith suddenly had a fierce advocate in the White House. He appointed judges who respect the First Amendment.
Let's start in Washington because of this significant decision by the US Supreme Court. It's ruled that employers who fire workers for being gay or transgender are breaking the country's civil rights laws. This is, as you'd imagine, a major win for LGBTQ workers and their allies.
He supported religious beliefs in court. He ensured religious ministries would not be forced to violate their beliefs.
You're not supposed to be on this church property. Leave.
We had approximately 8 to 9 police officers showed up and 5 patrol cars right in the middle of my sermon, believe it or not. My security stopped the police officers at the door of the church and told them that they could not come into the church.
He says he dismissed the church members and talked to the sergeant.
I said, "Why are you here?" He said, "Did you read the governor's order?" I said, "I know the governor's order. It said 10 people or less. I have 10 people in here. So tell me, why are you here?"
He says that all faith-based organizations are in partnership with CDC and Homeland Security during pandemics like this, and that they are essential partners to them.
Feel happy? Black and priceless worship? You feel happy doing this? This makes you glad? This is the house of God.
According to the police report, officers came by twice before the church was emptied.
Why the governor is so insistent upon closing the church down on Sundays, restricting worship, restricting the size of the gathering in the church is totally against the First Amendment of our Constitution, which says Congress shall make no laws for prohibiting the free worship and exercise or the free assembly, peaceful assembly of people in the United States. That includes the church.
He withdrew the policies that placed our little girls at risk. And on the world stage, President Trump became the first president to talk about the importance of religious freedom at the United Nations, at the United Nations, at the United Nations, at the United Nations. Giving hope to people of faith around the world. In America, we have not yet experienced physical persecution. In America, we have not yet experienced physical persecution. We have not yet experienced physical persecution. We have not yet experienced physical persecution. Even though the left has tried to silence us. Even during the pandemic, we saw how quickly life can change. Some Democratic leaders tried to ban church services, while marijuana shops and abortion clinics were declared essential. But you know what truly is essential?
But now a San Francisco supervisor says it's time to bring back bathhouses.
Our right to worship freely and live our faith in every aspect of life. The Biden-Harris vision for America leaves no room for people of faith. Whether you're a baker, a florist, or a football coach, they will force the choice between being obedient to God or to Caesar, because the radical left's God is government power. So in the words of my grandfather, Billy Graham, let us stand for political freedom, moral freedom, religious freedom, and the rights of all Americans. And let's never give in to those who would attempt to take it from us. Tonight, I'm proudly standing in that public square, and I hope and pray you will join me in voting to re-elect President Trump.
The police report states that the pastor said he doesn't plan on canceling any future services. Today, he said he's going to consider it throughout the week and make a decision for Sunday. In Northeast Baltimore, Eddie Kadum, WMAR 2 News.
In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat. Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I mean, I'm a little biased because I've known her for years. I think she really works hard, and I think she does a good job.
Jerusalem, the faithful city, she that was full of justice, has become a harlot.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. When we are successful.
Of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands.
Everyone has been instructed that if they see worship services going on, they will go to the officials of that congregation. They'll inform them they need to stop the services and disperse. If that does not happen, they will take additional action up to the point of...
Listen up! There is a storm coming!
Purchase your tracks today.
Like